The old lady stood trembling in the cold rain, clutching her purse, as if it could protect her from the harshness of the world. Beside her, the poor mechanic, Ethan, looked down at the muddy ground, his hands still stained with grease. His boss, Mr. Dalton, a man with more money than mercy, was yelling at him in front of everyone. "You're done here, Ethan! I warned you before. We don't fix cars for free. Especially not for charity cases." Ethan didn't say a word. He just stood there, rain dripping from his hair, holding his old, battered toolbox. The only thing he had left in the world. The old lady, her eyes watery and her voice trembling, said softly, "He was only helping, son, please don't do this to him." But Dalton sneered. "He can help himself to a new job. He's fired." The sound of thunder filled the silence. Ethan looked up at the sky, his eyes filled not with anger, but heartbreak. He whispered, "Sometimes, doing the right thing costs you everything." The camera slowly zooms in on his face as the narrator's voice fades in. But sometimes, life has a way of giving everything back, and more. Ethan Miller wasn't just a mechanic. He was a man who fixed things. Not just engines, but people's days, their worries, their hopes. He worked at Dalton's Auto Repairs, a greasy, noisy workshop where engines roared louder than hearts ever did. He wasn't paid much, but he never complained. Every dollar he earned went to paying rent for a small, dimly lit apartment and taking care of his sick mother at the nursing home. Ethan's life wasn't easy, but he always carried a small smile. The kind that came from quiet strength. One gray afternoon, while rain clouds gathered over the town, a frail old lady pulled into the garage in a sputtering blue sedan. The car looked as tired as she did. She stepped out slowly, holding onto her cane. "Excuse me, son," she said gently. "My car stopped twice on the way here. I can't miss my trip to the cemetery today. It's my husband's birthday." Ethan nodded, his heart tightening at her words. "Don't worry, Mom. I'll take care of it." As she waited, he noticed her shivering in the cold, so he made her sit on a small stool near the heater and brought her a cup of tea from the corner shop. Then, he began his work. Hours passed. He replaced spark plugs, fixed the fuel line, patched up the tires, all with parts he paid for out of his own pocket. When he finally started the engine, it roared back to life like an old friend waking up from a long sleep. The old woman smiled, tears glimmering in her eyes. "How much do I owe you, son?" Ethan shook his head. "Nothing, ma'am. You just take care and drive safe." She insisted, but he only smiled. "Consider it a gift for your husband's birthday." But fate has a cruel sense of timing. At that very moment, Mr. Dalton came out of his office, his face twisted with anger. "Ethan, what's this? You fixing cars for free again?" Ethan tried to explain, but Dalton didn't care. He saw only lost profit, not human kindness. "Do you think I run a charity here? You've cost me hundreds already. Pack your tools and get out." The old woman tried to defend him, her voice cracking. "He was only being kind, young man." Dalton snapped, "Lady, stay out of this." The shop fell silent. Rain began to pour outside. Ethan looked at the woman, then at Dalton. He didn't argue. He simply picked up his rusty toolbox, wiped his hands on his rag, and walked out, the sound of his boots echoing on the wet concrete. That night, he sat on a park bench, soaked to the bone, staring at his calloused hands. His stomach growled, but he didn't care. He had done the right thing, hadn't he? But doing the right thing had cost him his job, his pride, and his hope. Still, deep down, he whispered, "Maybe that old lady got home safe. That's enough for me." He didn't know. Destiny was already on its way back to him. 3 days later, Ethan was wandering from shop to shop, asking for work. His clothes were dirty, his face tired. But every door closed on him. No one wanted a fired mechanic from Dalton's. As the sun set that evening, he stopped at a diner to drink water. That's when a black luxury car pulled up outside. A man in an expensive suit stepped out and looked around, then walked straight to Ethan. "Are you Ethan Miller?" Ethan nodded, confused. "Yes, sir. Do I know you?" The man smiled slightly. "Not me. But my mother does." Ethan blinked. "Your mother?" The man nodded. "You fixed her car a few days ago. For free." Ethan's eyes widened. The old lady with the blue sedan. Yes, the man said, sitting across from him. She couldn't stop talking about you. She told me everything. My name's Robert Bennett, CEO of Bennett Motors. Ethan froze. He'd heard that name before. One of the biggest auto companies in the state. Robert continued. You didn't know this. But my mother isn't just an old lady with a broken car. She's the founder of our company. I inherited it from her and my late father. She came to your workshop that day to see how local mechanics treated customers. She wanted to know if kindness still existed in the world. Ethan's heart pounded. Robert smiled warmly. She found her answer in you. He slid a document across the table. A job offer. Ethan, I want you to join Bennett Motors as our head mechanic for our new Hearts and Hands initiative. A program to fix cars for free for those who can't afford repairs. Full salary. Housing and medical support for your mother included. Ethan's lips trembled. Sir, this can't be real. Robert chuckled softly. It's very real. You see, kindness travels in circles. It just took a few days to come back to you. Tears rolled down Ethan's face. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He looked up at the sky and whispered, Thank you. I did what you taught me. Mr. Dalton was watching TV at his desk when a news report came on. Bennett Motors launches a new charitable repair program. Led by local mechanic Ethan Miller. Once fired for helping a customer for free. Dalton's coffee cup slipped from his hand. The camera zooms in on the TV. Ethan shaking hands with Robert Bennett, standing beside Mrs. Bennett, both smiling proudly. Sometimes, Ethan says to the reporter, you fix a car and end up fixing your own life. When life punishes you for doing good, don't lose heart. Sometimes your kindness is just a seed. It takes a little time to bloom. Because no good deed ever goes unseen.